Tubers, two bats, crazy people. Well, yesterday I had the opportunity to get back together with our old friends, Daryl and Goldfinger. And we had a nice long conversation and want you to come along for the ride if you so desire. And what I think that is really beneficial in this video, especially for somebody that's thinking about moving to the Philippines or has already decided to move to the Philippines and is yet to come over, they, as new guys, put a fresh look and a new spin on it than I would, having been here for so long. And in the video, not only do they talk about some of their ups and their downs and their mistakes and their victories, but they get into some real just brick and mortar information, such as buying a car, renting an apartment, kind of some do's and don'ts, what they did right, what they did wrong, and yes, of course, the romance angle also. But if you hang in there with it, I think you'll find that if you're a new guy or a new woman, or again, thinking about it or already planning to move, there may be some new information in this video that you may not have considered and will find it to be really, really useful. So here comes my interview with Goldfinger and Daryl. Well, you know them, you love them. You can't live without them.
You try.
As much as you'd like to.
Can't get away from me.
It's you know
That's
who.
an understatement.
In your face.
It's you know who and you know him. So
Which one's which?
this is,
I'm dumb, dumber, dumbest.
so this will be Dumb and Dumber 2 coming at you from an undisclosed location. And so who's going to start off this little menagerie of minced words?
Oh God, what's new?
What's new with you, Goldie?
I just got finished, as they know.
Quit hitting the table.
I'm
You're
sorry.
gonna rattle. You're gonna
Hey,
rattle.
whatever.
the whole-
I just got finished, a week ago, doing the helmet drive and the helmets giveaway. Okay, and I gave away my helmet.
You gave away your own helmet?
My own personal helmet, which was a Honda helmet, which is about 7,000 to 10,000 pesos.
Well done.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
Somebody grabbed it. I lost my helmet.
Okay.
But we also gave away another 500, so it was 501 helmets given away.
So I've been talking to Goldfinger, and guess what the topic's been for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's not
helmet.
I'm very passionate about it.
So go ahead and get it out of your system.
Okay, I'm very passionate about it. I have talked before, videos before, I believe the one in Thailand, and I said I'm an asshole. And I was an asshole, probably still am. But I was in business, shut up. I was in business for myself, and my only thing was make money. Now, I didn't care how, who, or what I did, it was to make money. And when I got over here, I'm retired, and it isn't to make money, and I have to do something with my time. And I saw kids on bikes, and I said, these kids need to have helmets to protect their head. You're not going to change the fact that kids go on bikes with no shoes and no helmet. It's small kids, 5 years old, on the way to school, on the way to anything, to the market. I've seen as many as 5 children with one adult, and only an adult on the bike needs to wear a helmet here. And I'm not trying to change the law or change their culture, but I do wish to protect the kids, and I'm very passionate about that. And I didn't come here, honestly, for this. I came here for women, to be honest with you. I really.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed.
I came here for the girls, to be honest. And I came here because my money would go further, and the fact that everybody said, oh, they speak English. It's so easy to communicate. Okay, well, their English or our English is a little different because we have meanings that they don't understand. But in any case, that's what I came for, the girls.
So you came here to meet women.
Yeah.
And you came here because it's economically viable.
Yeah.
I would say that those are probably, you can flip them one on top, the other one on the other. it doesn't matter. But those are probably the two primary drivers that people come over here.
I found a wonderful
single guys come over here.
Yeah, and that's really the reason why I came. And then once I was here, and after a couple of months, and I found a wonderful Filipina girl, and there's really not a whole lot of things to do.
Who I have yet to meet. I have never met Goldfinger's girlfriend.
No, she's kind of an introvert. She stays at home. She doesn't really like to mingle.
But her and I need to sit down and have a conversation.
I don't know about that. So, I don't know if that'd be good. In any case,
I have a lot of questions.
But I got to tell you, I stay here not because of the women anymore, obviously. I don't stay here because of the financial, which is a help. Honestly, I love the people here. The people here are genuinely nice. The kids are so friendly and respectful. And I just love the Filipino culture and people.
Yeah.
And that's why I stay here.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it anywhere else. And so, anyway, but yeah, I'm passionate about the helmet. So
you're going to do another drive.
Yeah.
You're doing another drive. I'm going to put your Facebook link in the description of this video.
Okay.
In case anybody has any questions for you.
Yeah.
And that way they can just hit you up on Facebook and say, hey,
message me and ask
how's
me
it
whatever.
going?
Yeah.
And
I like talking to people. I use Messenger. I prefer.
the other reason is that for some uncanny reason that I can't understand, you've become very popular. And people want to talk to you. They find you funny. They find you interesting. And, these people need to get a life. But anyway, so I'll put that link in there.
Oh, thank you.
All right. And 1,000 helmets for the next one, right?
I think we're going to go over 1,000. I already have 500 ordered. I got a shipment of 200 today while I was here. Carolyn is my Filipino wife, and she sent me a picture and said 200 of them came today. So I have another 300 coming, and I'll probably place another order for a few hundred more in the next. But it takes me time to put it together, so it won't be till September.
Okay, cool.
I can only do about one every 2 months. It takes a lot of time to put everything together. They come all apart. So you got to put the chin strap on. You got to put the helmet internal parts together. You got face shield has to be attached. A sticker on the back. It just takes time, but it's good. It keeps me busy.
Daryl,
Yes.
what's your input for this little video? What's your news blast? What's
My
new
news?
with you?
What's new with me?
Last time I saw Daryl or had him on the camera, he had just crashed his motorbike,
Yeah.
and that was ugly. You took a pretty
Yeah.
tough spill.
I'm
Speaking
healing.
of helmets, you was wearing a helmet,
Thank goodness.
and you got yourself scratched up pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still scarred up
And
a
you're
little.
still healing from it?
Broken ribs, lung issue, and shoulder sprain real bad. It's still healing, and I'm having some problems with my thumb area here. Still having issues after, I don't know, how long has it been? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Is any of that going to be permanent problems, or do you
I
know?
hope not. It's getting better. I couldn't do this before. Now I
Okay.
can.
All right.
But it's that way, like I can do this all day long. But
Yeah.
on this one, I can't. So depending on, and this is of course your throttle. I still ride the bike. I got back on it. I'm not going to let it stop me.
No.
But
But you also got a vehicle.
the funny thing is before my accident, I'd ordered a car, and it hadn't arrived. But now it's arrived, so I drive that probably 50-50, the
50-50.
car and the motorbike.
For me, it's a
Yeah.
matter of weather. If
Yeah,
it's raining
yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
I take the car.
So like
if
today
it's
it
a nice,
said-
pretty day, I take the bike.
Yeah.
And
We've had a
I
lot
think
of rain.
it's
Yeah.
a great combination.
So today said it was 100% chance of rain, so I'm in the car.
Right.
And what I got, it kind of resembles one of those little Ford Broncos back in the U.S. It's like a little SUV Jeep thing. But it's nice, and I got it's 4-wheel drive. I just asked myself, what's the most practical thing to buy? You know, being from Texas, I wanted a pickup truck, but I look around and they're a bitch to park, to find parking. So I just thought, what's the most practical thing to buy? And these things are small, they're nimble, they're 4-wheel drive, they're
Yeah.
higher off the ground, and they're easy to park. So I bought one of those.
What's it called again?
It's called a Suzuki Jimny.
A Suzuki Jimny.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that might be something you want to put on the back of your burner in the back of your hard drive there when you're thinking about coming out here.
Of what it costs for one?
The one I got it's a Suzuki Jimny GLX, I think. And I added a luggage rack on top, a brush guard on the front, a ladder on the back to get to the top, tinted the windows. I think I came in at just under, right at 26,000 US.
$26,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how were you able to pay for it?
I had to wire it.
Wire it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not too kind of financing for foreigners here, so it's either you buy it or you don't. It's cash or nothing.
That's correct.
And the same with a motorbike. If you buy a motorbike here, it's cash or nothing. And that was one of the checklist items I wanted. I wanted to have a place to live, a car, a motorbike, and get settled before I seriously started looking for a partner, a girlfriend, if you will, future wife maybe.
Right.
And so I'm at that point, and now I've started seriously looking. But on the girlfriend front, it's just haven't had much luck.
No luck.
Yeah, I'm looking for the right one. I just don't want a
There's
girlfriend to
nothing wrong with
have
that.
one. I want the right one.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's a negative stigma to that. So what I do is I don't want to meet with them in private because I want to protect myself and keep myself from being accused of something that I didn't do, which happens here frequently.
Yes, it does.
So what I do is usually a friend with his girlfriend or wife, they will tell me, hey, I want you to meet my sister or my cousin or my friend, and I will ask to meet her with them as a foursome in a public place. And usually it's ground zero. So, and then people watch, especially the waitresses, they're watching. So they see me talking to a girl with my friend and his wife or girlfriend. And then, I'll know within 5 or 10 minutes if there's a connection, and if there's not, then it's just as it isn't going to work, right?
Right.
So then I'll meet somebody else a few days later, and then somebody until I find it. So then they come back and say, oh, you're a chick boy. I see you with girls all the time, and you have too many girlfriends. And
because the assumption is, and it's improper assumption, is that you met this girl, and then she went back to your place. And then you guys were together, we'll say, and then a day later you dropped her, and then you moved on to the next one in line,
furthest
which
from the
is
truth.
as far from the truth as humanly possible. And so,
and my closest friends will tell you, I don't bring girls to my place. I don't. I just don't.
Well, I'm one of your friends, and I know that.
And part of this is why I see them in a public place, because I don't want to be accused of something I didn't do by bringing them to my house. So then I get so trying to do this right and doing it in public and protecting myself, I get that negative connotation that I'm a chick boy because I'm seen with a different girl all the time. So I don't know I just need to find out how to balance that out.
I think I can help you. I have an idea. It's kind of the way that we scheduled to do this video. What did we want? We wanted some privacy.
Right.
We wanted someplace quiet. We're actually at the Pancake House, which Goldfinger told me they have this room behind it that I had no idea about. And so we've got some air conditioning, we've got some lighting, we've got hopefully some quiet. I'm sure there's some ambient noise coming from somewhere. But if you're going to ground zero or anywhere else, time after time after time, the same people are seeing you, and it does look like a rotation type of thing. So my friendly idea here is I would find a place that is a little off the beaten path, where the four of you can meet and have, find a restaurant that's not quite so foreigner friendly, or just some place that's, I can name 5 places after the video's over that you could go to that I know nobody goes to, but are nice places to go to meet. So that might be something you want to think about. Because what happens is the people that work in these places have nothing to do
but gossip.
And start innuendo, rumors, and they have very powerful imaginations. My wife has the most powerful imagination. She falls right into the same category. I can guarantee you, if May saw you do it one day, that would be her assumption. That would be her conclusion.
Oh, of course.
And so it's just part of the culture, bro.
And
it's one of those misnomers that you just sort of have to work around.
Yeah.
I say adjust, adapt, and then accept. And so you're going to have to adjust a little bit, and that would be just my friendly idea.
And I understand
whether you take it or
it's,
not is up to you. But
perception is reality. Even if perception is wrong, it's still reality.
Correct.
I've been to other restaurants and I've had a waitress come up and go, "Oh, I know you. You're a chick boy." I'm like, "Excuse me?" "Yeah, I heard about you." I'm like, "Oh,
Well,
Jesus
you know, it could have
Christ."
been worse.
Yeah,
It could have been a gay boy.
let's not go there.
It's not going there.
go figure.
I had to bring it up.
I figured out how to get the lady boys off of me now. So,
No, they're not bothering you anymore, are they?
no.
Oh, never mind. We won't go there.
Yeah. And it's funny how they find you.
Who finds you?
Girls in general, or even lady boys.
Girls in general.
I get messages from them on Messenger, and I'm like, "Well, how did you find me? Where did you get my name?" They'll never answer you.
Never answer.
They will never answer you. But they want to talk, and it's instead of the face to face, you're chatting. But you got to be careful what you type because they can.
Yeah, I was just talking to Goldfinger about a
Yeah,
similar
Screenshot.
they
subject.
can screenshot
I'm
with
pretty
you
sure
and take it out of
I think they pass your name around. They got this telephone, pool, and they go, "Hey, this guy's in town and he has money, and he's available, and he's good looking, and he has a place up in the mountains, and it's almost like they have smoke signals and drums." It gets around.
So, what has been the one thing, like you haven't been successful in your mind? What has been the common denominator, if there is one? Is it language?
No.
Is it the fact that they're too young?
No.
Is it just not a connection physically? Have you been able to pinpoint it? I mean, I think it's awesome that you know what you want. I think it's awesome that when you meet them, you tell them, I'm here for the real deal, not just fun.
Oh, I make that very clear.
Make that very clear.
I think one of the common themes, if you will, is I'm told you're too guapo is the word they use here, and I'm afraid that you will trade me for someone else.
I can believe that. Because
So they're very insecure. The girls are
They're very
I've never shared this before, but I find you very attractive.
But I have enough problems with the lady boys,
And I would
okay?
like to meet you later for coffee.
I think it's time for me to depart now.
But no, it's amazing. 30-year-old girls are so insecure, shy. It's just it's not like that in the States. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. What is? So tell me, Daryl, what is your criteria? I mean, what is it that you have that are absolute yeses and absolute nos, or has it come to that point?
Okay, we're going to get a lot of hate comments for this.
That's okay. That's what we look
And
for.
this is just, I'm just being honest.
Honesty is good, truth is good, and truth will always bring out hate.
I
So
just,
that's okay.
I just feel I've worked my whole life. I'm retired now. There are things I want to do, mainly travel. I'm an animal lover.
An animal lover.
You look at my Facebook page and it's got 3 of my beautiful dogs, and they're all in heaven now, unfortunately. But that's why they're there. I love my dogs.
to death.
But I just don't want a pet, because I want to wake up on a Wednesday morning and tell my girlfriend or significant other, leave it at girlfriend, hey, let's go to Manila for a week, or let's go to Sikihor for a week, or, well, wait, who's going to watch the dog?
Right.
And I'm building up to the big one where I'm going to get a lot of hate comments.
Here we go.
Because I'm told I'm selfish. But, this is This is for me. You have your own opinion. I have mine. I respect yours. If you don't want to respect mine, then so be it. I just prefer not to meet a Filipino with kids.
No kids.
Okay.
And it leads back to I want to, get a wild hair up my ass and tell my Filipino girlfriend, let's go to Cebu for a couple days. Wait, who's going to watch the kids?
Understood.
And I just want the freedom to do the things I want to do that I worked so hard in my life to do.
I don't see
So that takes my window of Filipinas down to here.
Yes, it does.
Because there are a lot of single mothers.
Yes, there are.
I know 2 more criteria. Smoking.
No smoking. I don't care if they drink. And social drinkers, fine. I stopped drinking. I don't drink alcohol
Not very
anymore.
many Filipinos smoke.
Yeah. What's that?
Not very many Filipinos or Filipinos smoke.
True.
Smoking's not a big deal out
smoking
here.
Smoking is a.
That's a definite turnoff for you. I can see where it would be. Because I'm a smoker, and I know that it's an offensive habit. I wish I didn't do it.
Sure.
I know it affects your breath, it affects this, affects that. It's, so that's why whenever I'm with you guys, I always say I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette, and I get as far away from you guys as I can. Right. So at least you're not getting the secondhand smoke.
You're right. Smoking is a deal breaker.
Smoking,
an alcoholic or a heavy drinker is a deal breaker.
Brutal.
Social drinker, it's fine. Just know that I'm not going to. Okay.
Domestication.
Domestic violence. I've been a victim of that.
Not domestic violence. Domesticated.
Be domesticated. I'm not asking for someone to clean my house and be my maid and be my servant, because I will help clean the house. I will help do the chores. I will help cook or do dishes. Or I'm looking for a partner. I'm not looking for a servant or a maid like some of these other guys.
A doormat.
Sure.
Right.
And respect works both ways.
Yep.
I will be good to her. I just expect her to be good back. That's all. Show half the respect I give you. That's all I ask.
You want her to be
Sure.
able to cook and able to
Yeah.
clean.
Well,
It's a joint.
It's a joint venture.
If
It's
she's
a joint
prima
venture.
donna, that's not going to
Sure.
work for you.
And that's really, about it. I'm not an ATM, and don't treat me like one.
Right.
I'm a very generous guy. I'm very giving. I think he can tell you. But
You didn't give me a shit.
well, you're the wrong sex, and you
gave me your time.
other things. But that's it in a nutshell. And I'm really having a difficult time finding that.
So have women that you have met, have they had kids?
The majority of them.
Okay. And have you told them up front that's not going to work?
Majority of the time.
Okay.
Not all the time.
Okay.
I'm open to a Filipino with a child, but she's got to be the right girl for me. And I have to be able to get along with the child and have a relationship with the child too, to raise the child as my own if I needed to.
If we circle full back, that's going to prevent you from just taking off and going to Manila and all that.
That's why she has to be the right girl. I have to click with her first, then we'll look at, and then I'll look at the child, and if.
What about the age of the child?
I prefer, for me, the older the better.
Older the better.
Yeah.
What about the age of the woman? Do you have a preference?
I don't really
there?
have a preference.
So she could be 25, she could be 22, she could be 35.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just depends on whether or not you guys.
Depends on her.
Okay. About province versus city girl.
I'm finding that the province girls are more genuine. But I haven't gotten myself out into the provinces yet because I've been setting everything up with home and cars and bikes.
You haven't been at this very long, really. You've been setting up your house, you've been buying cars, you've been crashing motorbikes.
Yeah. I spent a solid month at home without leaving home.
And then you went back home for a month?
I went back for 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
We've only been here 5 months total. Because I almost said
pretty
6,
much.
And we both came in at the same time.
I came mid-January, and I went back for 3 weeks and came back, and so, So what does the math give you? A little 5 months, a little over 5 months?
And pretty much the advice I've heard, which is if you find the right girl, you need at least 6 months with that girl.
Sure.
A year preferable, but at least 6 months. Is that correct?
That's the way I played it. I made the typical mistakes in the beginning, which I've already talked about, so I won't reiterate. But with me, I just was honest with everybody, because when I came over here, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend initially. And when I would meet them, because that inevitably happens, once I was settled in, got the house, got the place, got the car, got the bike, got used to it, then that starts to come into your life, because it's really, really prevalent out here. And being a red-blooded American man, you're not dead. And so female companionship is great. But when I met them, and they would say, "Are you looking for a girlfriend?" I was completely honest with them and said, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
Because at the time I wasn't. You know, you're in a different position. You can tell them, "Yes, I am."
Oh, I'm ready now. Yes, of course.
Yeah. So our approaches were different. I absolutely positively did not want to be involved with kids. There you go. So, I mean, I don't know where the hate would come from that, because that's my own personal preference. I adopted 2 kids at birth. I had a biological son. I raised 3 kids from day 0 to day 20, or year 20. And then I left. I stayed. I fulfilled that obligation. And I've had enough of it. It was just enough. I'm done. It's my turn. I'm being selfish. But by being selfish means I'm being true to myself. If I'm true to myself, that means I'm happy.
Sure.
And if I'm happy, that gets passed on to my partner. Right. Now, I feel with baby May that I got an absolute unicorn. Just the fact that she's 37 years old, soon to be 38 next month, and is childless. She's from the province.
Yeah.
The way that we met was we were introduced. And no, things didn't go off great with us in the beginning, to be honest with you. We had some rocky times. But guess what? The period went by. 6 months. She was staying with her sister. She was working as a caterer. I was doing my thing. I was dating other girls, or women as we should say. And she and I just took our time. We got to know each other. Pretty soon, things that were bothering us seemed to get corrected or changed or disappeared. I can't put my finger on it. And then it was another 3 or 4 months before we cohabitated. And so I slow played it. And if you're looking at, to me, if you're looking at the rest of your life with someone, because I think you want to get married, am I correct?
I don't have to be married.
Okay.
But long term,
but if you have you want a mutual agreement that you two are together. Exclusive is the word I'm looking for.
Absolutely.
You want exclusive.
That's what I want.
Could be for the next 10 years. You don't want to see her, then see somebody else on the side, and this one over here and over there. Okay. So same theory. I looked at that person and said, can I picture myself with them for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years, or the rest of my life in my case? And 95%, 99% of the time it was no. And then May came along, and I asked myself that question after about 9 months, and I said yes. And that's when we moved in.
Caroline and I.
And so what's the dealio with your woman?
Well, I mean, 4 months. We've been together 4 months. We just celebrated a 4-month anniversary. She's awesome, but she doesn't trust me. It's trust issues.
I don't trust you.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't trust me either. But, you know, I notice a lot of Filipinos.
I check my wallet like every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Good check. Have you checked? She doesn't totally 100% open up or trust me after 4 months. You have to be very patient, because you need a lot of patience to be here for everything, not just for girlfriends. I mean, even waiting at a market, or waiting for service, or waiting for your food, or waiting for your check. It doesn't matter what it is. Nothing happens quick here.
That's for sure.
Nothing. And they don't do multitasking here.
No.
It's one thing at a time. You know.
I think the most frustrated guys over here are the ones that try to fix it. And it's what, you're not here to fix the Philippines.
Yeah.
You're here to have the Philippines fix you. You know, you're supposed to be able to just kick back, let go, accept the culture for what it is. So you get to that point of acceptance, which I think the three of us have done, is we've been here long enough. that when we sit down at a restaurant, I think we know forewarned is forearmed. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And you're going to order your food, and you may as well just relax and know that 15 or 20 minutes is going to go by before it comes or even a menu comes. And sometimes you have to be a little proactive and go get your own menu or signal to someone to please come by.
Comes, that's when it's my chance to ask for additional drink and the check. Because it's going to take a while for them to bring me the bill.
Right.
I might have to ask twice.
Right.
Like if I want a coffee refill, good luck. You're going to have to ask a couple. Actually, some places don't do refills. They charge you for each coffee, but it's not free refills. They'll refill, but it's not free. But you got to ask more than once. But you can't get angry about it. You just
You're not going to change it.
You're not going to change it.
If you don't have the patience for it, don't endure it.
And don't come here.
Don't come
There
here.
you go.
That's true.
There you go.
It's a lot of patience. That's the biggest thing here.
Now, what do you guys think about Dumaguete in general? I mean, a lot of guys are coming over here. I have my thoughts on it. People say that there's too many people coming to Dumaguete, that there's too many expats here. I disagree with that, but I'd be interested in hearing your take on it. Either one of you can speak up.
Well, okay, I haven't been anywhere else but Dumaguete.
Okay.
So I can't talk about other cities, okay? Only for what I've seen on videos from people in those cities, like Davao or Angeles City or things like that. I did not want to go to a big city like Manila or Cebu. I don't like crowds.
Okay.
Okay. I prefer living outside the city, and my apartment is outside of the city. I don't like traffic noises and all that stuff. However, is there too many expats here? There's too many vloggers.
Well, I think that's a misnomer too.
I think there's too many vloggers in Cuba. There's so many here. They're overlapping each other. They start vlogging each other, which got into trouble not too long ago. So a lot of advertisement for Duba, and obviously it's it's an older group of people that come here. Okay, from Australia, Canada, U.S., Europe. We tend to
Speak for yourself, oldie.
Okay, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. We're here at the Pancake House, right?
Yeah.
Out there is the breakfast room.
Right.
How many foreigners other than us are here?
None.
Not that many.
How many people are here?
Quite a few.
Yeah,
Quite a few.
But Pancake House is not typically a expat location.
Absolutely it is.
No, it's not.
Absolutely. Pancake House is from back home. It's like what am I trying to think of?
The name is Pancake House, but the location where it's at and everything is not in the city. It's outside in a rural, in my opinion, or rural
Okay.
street,
All right.
It's not a typical place for expats.
All right. Ground Zero. Is that a hub for
Yes,
foreigners?
definitely.
Have you been there after 2:00 in the afternoon?
Yes.
How many foreigners are there, and how many Filipinos?
There are more Filipinos.
Huh?
There are more Filipinos. Yeah.
My point
Yeah.
has just been made, despite this knucklehead. There are not too many foreigners here. That's a misnomer. The reason you may believe that is because
I didn't say there was too many foreigners. I just said it's predominantly older. I didn't
Yes,
say too
that's
many.
true.
I never said it was too many.
Okay.
No, the answer to that
you said
question
there was
is
too many vloggers.
there's too many vloggers and there's too many, not too many, but there's a predominance of older, retired expats. But I didn't say there was too many.
Okay. All right.
Let me correct that. So,
All right.
is there room for more? Yeah, come on down. There's
So
plenty of room.
the point I'm trying to make is people are getting the impression, and I think it's a false one, and I just want to clarify here on my little channel, is that I think there's plenty of room for a lot more guys to come here, or women to come here. Prices have gone up since I've been here, but guess what? That's a little thing called inflation. I have been to other cities. I have been to here, there, everywhere, not everywhere, but guess what? Prices are up there too.
Yeah.
So rents are rising.
Back home,
Budgets
the prices
are rising.
Yeah.
I did a little live stream today before a brownout cut me out. And I I need to do a budget video because my budget's gone up about $400 a month.
Yes.
I'm closer to $2,000 a month now than I when last year I was at $1,500. And there's just been, and my rent hasn't been raised. It's still the same. My electric bill hasn't gone up. None of my static stuff has gone up. But my two things happened. COVID ended, so my wife and I have been running around traveling and going to different places. That costs money, hotels and airfares and gas and all that kind of happy stuff. And price of food is a hell of a lot more money.
Yes.
I mean, I went to Fibber McGee's to have their cheeseburger. It was $12.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's really,
That's a burger.
that's
Now,
in line or above U.S. prices.
I don't know.
It's because of beef, and they have beef, and the beef is expensive here anyway. It's imported either from Australia, mostly.
Guy told me about a steakhouse. He says you're going to go in there, Paul, with your wife. You're going to spend a C-note. I said,
Yeah,
well,
that's ridiculous.
that sounds a little strong. So that's available, and that's happening. McDonald's, however, you can roll in there, and for the same $5, you can get a Big Mac, fry, and a Coke.
Yeah.
So
But honestly,
there's the offset.
It doesn't taste quite the same.
I've been to McDonald's one time.
Have you?
I was
What
disappointed.
did you think of it? You were disappointed.
I was too.
Now, see, to me, it's identical. I can't
not.
tell the
I've been
difference.
there
I
twice,
don't
and
agree.
both times I go, I'm not going back.
And then
Because of the taste of the food.
The taste of the food
It
or the
tastes different.
quality, it tasted
Yeah.
like old bread on one time, and the other time was like I had the sausage McMuffin with cheese, and it just was overcooked
Okay.
and been sitting around
Fair
for a
enough.
while. It wasn't fresh.
But on the flip side, I went into Jollibee's 2 days later and I didn't think it was any better.
I don't like Jollibee at all.
So if you ask Filipinos
like
what's
Jollibee.
better, Jollibee's or McDonald's, every one of them will tell you Jollibee's. If
Jollibee.
you ask an
Jollibee's.
expat which is better, they will tell you McDonald's is better.
That's correct. That's correct.
I don't like either one of them.
I agree with you. I don't like either.
Yeah, maybe for something quick to
I like
run in
crisp.
and get out, but
I like King Crispy. Is that what it's called? Or Crispy?
Crispy King.
Krispy Kreme.
Crispy King.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like their chicken.
They have great chicken.
But they have good places and they have not so good places.
Yeah, I
You
got-
pick the ones that are cleaner.
Yep. I got sick for 4 days after eating at Crispy King.
Yes, yeah. Some of them because they don't do. They let things.
And May told me, don't do it. She said, wait, because you need a fresh cook. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? They got
cook.
chicken right there.
Yeah, but in a cabinet without refrigeration or anything else, it's just sitting there.
So anyway, I should listen
When
to
I
my
go
wife.
to a Krispy Kreme, I go, I'll wait for the next batch.
Crispy King, for those that don't know, is fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
Yeah.
battered,
Battered
kind of
fried
like a
chicken.
Kentucky fried chicken.
Yeah.
It's very good. I like it, but you got to get it fresh.
You do have to get it fresh. Because the conditions in which they make it are not
It's
sanitary.
40
at all.
pesos a piece. You can get a thigh, a leg, a half breast, a wing. It's 40 pesos each, and it's 55 pesos to the dollar. So we're talking 80, less than 80, 75 cents per piece of chicken. Cheap enough, 2-3 pieces a person. That's all you really need.
All right, so we've covered your food options. We've covered everybody's romance.
I changed my apartment. I don't know
You
if we
changed your
talked about
apartment?
it.
Yeah. Your first apartment caught fire.
The first apartment caught fire before I moved in.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to wait 2 weeks to get another apartment near it in the
Yeah.
same complex that didn't burn down through the ground. And they got water and power for me. And it was very inexpensive. It was 12,000 pesos rent. What is that? That's
200 bucks,
220
$220.
bucks. And it was US, 220 bucks. And electricity wasn't real high, maybe $100 a month for electricity or less. But it only had one air conditioner. And it was small. It was a 1-bedroom. And in the same complex, and which I prefer because it has a big pool in it, really long pool that I can do laps, and I like swimming every day. They had a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that was huge. It's big. It's like 3 of my old ones, and that was $22,000. And the problem with it is the only problem I had is when I moved over. The owner of the apartment said I forfeit my rent and I forfeit my security deposit, even though it's the same owner and the same apartment complex. I go, how do I just paid my rent just 5 days before. I paid $12,000 rent and I had a $12,000 security. Okay, how do I just forfeit? What do you got? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll move in next month when how do I forfeit my security? Because she wanted 22,000 security and 22,000 rent, and she wanted another 22,000 for a second month's payment.
And you were moving next door.
And I'm literally moving to an apartment in the same property.
But she didn't want the security deposit and the rent to follow. It was like,
No, she
okay,
said
you forfeit that.
forfeit.
That's over with, and we're going to start fresh on the new one.
And she wanted first, last, and security of 20. She wanted 66,000 pesos.
So how did that end up?
It didn't go well. It didn't go well, and I said no. I said, she goes, well, I have to pay a realtor. I go, what realtor are you paying? I didn't use a realtor. I'm moving from one apartment to another. She says, well, I have a realtor. I said, well, then you pay her. I don't know why you would pay a realtor to move from one apartment to another. And I said, I'm not paying. I'm not going to lose my security. It's not going to happen. I'll go okay with losing the rent, okay? But I'm not going to lose 12,000 security. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. And we went back and forth. When finally the smoke got settled and we went back and forth a few times, I ended up renting I moved on the 20th, but I rented from the 1st of the month. So I gave up the 12,000, so I figured it's the 20th to the 1st, about 11 days back in April. And I said, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to get into a big argument. I said I'm going to go to the barangay captain, we're going to argue it, and I just didn't want to escalate it.
Why? Yeah.
Because I really wanted to stay there. You had suggested I move, and I really love the pool, and
what if, let me, I'm glad you finally got settled in there. And I'm sorry it cost you money, but that's lesson learned. I don't think that's right. I think the landlord didn't treat that properly.
She was greedy.
But it's water under the bridge now. What is your impression of realtors out here?
They're terrible.
Your experience has been terrible.
Yeah.
Because I remember you told one realtor, I don't know her name or his name, but we're not going to say
No,
it.
we're not going to say
But you said, I want a pool.
Yeah.
And I remember you getting into the car with this person, and you had like 3 or 4 or 5 places to go, and not one of them had a pool.
No.
And wasn't it like by house number 3, you just said pull over?
Yeah, I said, we're done.
That's
And
it.
you're wasting my time. When you get the right thing, you let me know. I had a realtor that wanted me to give them the first and last on an apartment. Actually, it was a house. The first and last on a house, I think it was 25 or 30,000 pesos. And she met me at ground zero, and she wrote out a contract. And I go, why am I paying you 60,000? I'm trying to, I mean, you're not the landlord or the owner. I mean, she goes, oh, I'll pay them for you. I'm going, this doesn't seem right. And I actually went to Justin Carmack, great guy here. And I said, Justin, you happen to have been there. I says, you know a little bit more than I do. I haven't been here real. Am I supposed to hand over 60,000 to a realtor that she's going to pay for me? Or should I be seeing the landlord? He goes, you don't hand her the money.
Right.
And we didn't. And I said to her, she was writing out this whole contract and everything else, and I'm going, oh, I want an actual contract from the landlord of the property, and I'm going to pay them, and they will pay you, not me.
What about you?
Unfortunately, I was using the same realtor. I gave her a checklist criteria of this is what I want, and she showed me everything except what was on the checklist. You know, and it's like, well, you know, for example, I want 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I want a place for a washing machine connection. I'm going to buy a washing machine, which I did. And I want a kitchen. I want, you know, aircon in every room. And so here's my criteria. She would take me somewhere. I'm like, okay, where's the washer and dryer connection? Oh, well, you'll get used to it. But there's only an aircon in the bedroom. It's not the living room. Well, just open the doors. You'll get. That's not what I asked for. So I said, I need what's on this criteria. I've sent it to you. You have it in writing. And so, okay, we'll look at some more tomorrow. She would pick me up the next day and show me the same crap that I didn't ask for.
Well, I think in any profession there's good apples, bad apples.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not knocking all the
And it was
realtors out
probably just this one realtor, I think.
I think you guys just walked into
No, I
a
had another
clunker.
realtor, and she picks me up also at ground zero, and we go off, and she goes, I have to get some gas. And I go, okay, do you have any money? You want me to put gas in your car for you to show me houses? Yeah. And I put 400 pesos worth of fuel in her car.
Okay.
So I could go see
Okay, well actually on the surface that's kind of fair because you have to look at people, you know.
Well, I was a little
not the
taken
same.
back.
I understand.
And they're always late.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always late.
Filipino types.
If your
Yep.
appointment's at 9, they'll show up at 11.
9:30, 10, whatever.
They'll leave you there waiting.
There's no idea of what an appointment is.
I think that is one thing that guys should prepare themselves for when they come out here. It's for me, I got lucky, but I think it requires a lot of time and a lot of patience to find the right place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real easy to rush in and find out that you've made a bad mistake. And
So-
even I, to this day, May and I have been thinking about moving for over a year. And every time we find a place and we go look at it, we look around and we go, well, we got the same crap going on at our house that's going on here. Why should I give
no
them
better.
an extra 15,000 pesos
Yeah.
just because it's a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. No, we'll just stick with what we got.
Do you remember you and I went to go look at a place, and I told them I want a pool, and they said, yes, I have the perfect place for you. And we looked at this apartment,
Oh, yeah.
which they had sent me pictures of it,
Yeah.
okay? And the apartment looked gorgeous, but they took these pictures when it was first built, obviously. Because we got in there, we had broken cabinets, we had cracks in the walls, we had a toilet that didn't work, all kinds of stuff. But I go, where's the pool? And they pointed across the way, and there was a picture of a pool with a field behind it. It's right there. I go, it's going to be
Where's
hard
the
to-
pool?
it's
It'll
gonna
be there in the next year.
So it was like planned.
So the pool will be there in the next year. So we asked, well, how long has this complex been here? Oh, 3 years.
But
Oh,
it's coming.
hilarious.
That pool will
It's
be
coming.
there.
Just wait.
Oh,
So I recommend getting 2 to 3 realtors. And because what these realtors will do is they will only show you what benefits them to show
and
you.
it's always the marina.
So I would get 2 or 3 of them because the one realtor says, well, this is all I have. There's nothing else available. You talk to the other realtor and he or she will show you other units that this one claims are not available. And maybe they're contracted with these landlords, I don't know. And then with the third one, same, he or she will show you rentals that the other 2 can't or won't for whatever reason. So if you limit yourself to one realtor, you're really limiting the availability of what
They
units
have
are
listed
available to
or
rent.
where they're going to receive a financial benefit
Correct.
from.
Yeah.
A commission.
And the big
And
one
that's
here-
usually 1 month's rent.
And they're going to show you the most expensive stuff they can find.
I don't know why the very first place of choice for all of them is the marina.
Yeah.
Well, that's because there's so much available there. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not great.
No, I'm not a
It's-
fan of it.
No,
It's
they're
very
shoeboxes.
small,
They're
very
tiny.
small. It's
No
not
parking.
cheap. There's no parking. You pay extra for parking.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever a guy comes over, and I meet guys all the time, who've been here for 2 days, I'm looking for a place. I said, oh, did you contact the realtor? Oh yeah, we're going to the marina today. I'm like, I said, just cancel the appointment.
Yeah.
Tell them you don't want the marina.
I shipped 17 boxes here. They're all here now. And I'm going through these boxes, and when I packed these boxes, I packed them with the intent of, well, because I had already been here. I went back for the 3 weeks, and when I went back for the 3 weeks is when I packed the box. So I kind of had an idea of what's available here and what's not.
Good idea.
So I packed these damn boxes, and then while I'm gone, Amazon opens up here. So now I've shipped all this crap from the U.S. and realize,
It's still cheaper.
why did I pack this shit? Why did I
Amazon
pack this?
won't
Why did I pack that?
Yeah, but-
but
Well, were
Amazon will not ship-
they like practical itemes like appliances and
I
knives?
shipped good knives, good towels.
I think
You want
that's-
good
I think that's
towels.
awesome.
Yeah.
I shipped shoes, clothes,
Yep.
tools, good
Yeah.
quality tools.
quality,
Here
yeah,
it's all
that's
that
all good.
Chinese crap.
You can't get medicine here.
I
You can't get
shipped-
medicine on Amazon.
I
It's
shipped
expensive.
a year's supply of medication, prescription medication.
Good on you.
That's a good idea.
I shipped a lot of appliances, so I had to buy a converter.
Yeah.
Because the power here is 220, the stuff, my appliances I ship are 110. So actually my converter showed up yesterday and I've already started using it.
Yeah.
So now I can plug in my U.S. appliances. The only issue with that is you get a Filipino girlfriend, she's going to take anything and plug it on the wall.
Well-
So you got to be careful. 'Cause
Power
if-
strips, my friend.
Yeah.
Power strips.
so if you plug a U.S. appliance into a wall here, it's going to fry it.
Yeah.
So that's something. But I shipped a lot of
But some things is cool because like electronics, cell phone chargers, computer chargers, they'll work either way, 220
Yeah.
or 110. But a mixer, no.
No.
Hair blower, No,
air
toaster,
fryer,
toaster, toasted at
blender.
You're better off just buying a
blender from the US.
That's what I said. I give up. I'm gonna
Blender.
buy it.
Yeah.
I bought a blender here. I said I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah.
Into
I think
burgers.
I think the great advice that I forgot about this was the towels.
Towels.
Get some
Well, you got
really nice. Oh, I had to throw
I
those
shipped
nasty
some
things
high
away. Are you
quality
kidding?
towels.
They were new. I
stop
sent
it.
you new towels. Don't give me that. It was in my box. You got all my shit.
He uses those towels to wash his car, by the way.
Yeah.
Got all my shit. You got all my good pots and pans. Cast iron. What
yes.
did you do with the cast iron?
I
I
shipped
gave all
pots
your
and
stuff
pans.
away. You know that. It was on video that I gave it all away. I donated it. It's documented. You've watched the video. People came over from all around the neighborhood, and we did 3 videos of unpacking your goofy ballot buying boxes because you said you wanted to donate it. And that's exactly what we did.
I figured I'm never going to be here. COVID just kept dragging on.
Yeah.
And I
There
didn't
you
want
go,
you to,
thinking again.
and you had to move the boxes. And I says, oh, screw this. Just keep it. Screw it. You had to keep some stuff.
I want to get back on point here
All right.
about finding a place, realtors, all that kind of happy
How
stuff.
long? We're already on over 40 minutes, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to leave? Me and Deals in here. It's fine with us.
Get me out.
Get the,
Quit your whining.
what was I talking about? See, you
I don't know.
interrupted
See
me.
what happened.
Oh, I kind of come around to the fact that I think the wisest thing a person can do when they come out here is budget and allocate for a much longer hotel stay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a palace, and it doesn't have to be a dump, but you guys correct me. Can you not get a decent place for 25, 30 bucks a night?
20. I found great
Yeah,
places for
yeah.
20.
Okay.
One,
Decent to 25. Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend $40.
Okay. And have you, because I didn't do it, I haven't done it, so I don't want to say you can you negotiate a month-long stay at a hotel?
If you go through
That's difficult.
Agoda or Booking.com, they will discount if you do the 28.
the daily
days.
rate for a longer stay. But
Discount the daily rate.
Okay.
when I came the first time, January to March, I came for 2 months. I did it all online, paid for it in advance for 2 months.
Okay.
And that place ran me about $21 a night.
And what was the name of the hotel?
Hotel Nicanor.
Okay, and did you like it?
Yes and no, more no than yes, but
Okay.
it satisfied my needs.
It was centrally located.
It was centrally, I was able to walk everywhere. That's what I liked. It didn't have a refrigerator and,
Oh, no.
you know, but,
That's more of an Airbnb kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
setup,
yeah.
right?
So when
I see what you're saying. That's a upper end hotel
Yeah,
with
I
a
went-
little mini bar kind
right,
of deal.
I
Yeah.
went back to Texas for 3 weeks, came back and I stayed at Hotel Essentia.
Uh-huh.
It had a refrigerator and a little freezer and it was bigger,
And it was
but it was $38 a night.
Okay.
And I think I stayed there for 3 weeks, maybe,
A little bit. Yeah.
about 3 weeks
Hard to get into that place.
before I moved into the house.
Yeah, that's a very popular hotel.
Yeah. I stayed at Charles. It was 21 bucks a night, and they had a small refrigerator, and they provided water. It was not centrally located. Centrally located.
Right.
I had to take a pedicab to get into town and to come back out. It was 2 kilometers out of town.
Uh-huh.
So like 10 minutes, 10-minute ride. But it was on a busy street, so I was able to get pedicabs very easily.
How long do you think it would take for the average Joe coming over here, just a single guy, to keep it simple, to get acclimated, settle in, and say find an apartment and possibly buy a motorbike? I'm assuming these guys are going to come over here and within the first day or two after they get settled in, either probably rent a motorbike or rent a car. I don't think it's conducive to be here if you're going to rely on public transportation. It's so funky here.
Yeah,
I would rent a
All you got
motorbike.
is the trikes
Yeah,
and the
trikes.
jeepneys and
Yeah.
a bus to nowhere.
I would rent a motorbike.
There's no taxi, there's no Grab.
Not everybody
Like you
rides
could
a bike.
pull that off in Cebu.
Yeah.
Because they've got Grab and they've got taxis. You can pull that off in Iloilo.
Yes.
They've got all those services. But Dumaguete does not have that modern
Taxi
kind of
service,
taxi
Grab.
or an
Everything
app
here
on
takes
your
time.
phone where you could go and move and groove. So Joe Blow lands here tomorrow. He gets into a hotel, let's just say for this conversation, he rents himself a scooter and can drive it. How long do you think it would take for him to get acclimated and settled in? A realistic number.
I think it really depends, because before I came here, I already knew what car and motorbike I was going to buy.
Okay.
I didn't go shopping.
Right.
I never
right,
went shopping for a motorbike or a
Right.
car ever with
All right,
anybody.
So there's a good
So-
idea. If you are, I'm talking to you out there in YouTube land. If you're coming over here and you plan to do what I just suggested, is get a place to stay till you get settled in, and you're going to buy a car or you're going to get a motorbike. Maybe do the research and know that you want a 150 or a 400 or whatever the hell suits you. Doesn't matter. But know what it is, know how much it costs.
Because
and then go
sometimes
out and just freaking buy the damn thing.
Sometimes it takes time for the motorbike I wanted. They didn't have it because
Right.
they can't keep up with production. They're so popular. So I had put my name on a list, and I said it would take up to everything here is 3 months. He said it would take up to 3 months. So I ordered it, put my name on a list for the make, model, and color I wanted. And the same thing with the car. I walked into the dealership, said, this is what I want. What do I need to do? I know you don't have it in stock. They take my name. I put down a deposit and told them gave them two colors. They asked for 2 colors. I gave them the 2 colors I wanted, and they said, we'll call you when one comes in. For this color, you're number 1 on the list. For this number, you're number 4 on the list. We'll call you. I'm not putting you at anything, but what's an average wait time? Of course, they tell you 3 months. Everything's 3 months. So I would say with that, for me to get settled into, I was very picky. I'm just a very picky person. The place that I wanted to rent, the car I wanted to buy, the motorbike I wanted to buy, to get settled, to get furnished, buy certain things for the house, then be ready for my girlfriend, if you will. I would say realistically 3 to 6 months.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
That's from a picky guy that did planning and knew what he wanted. What do you say, go figure?
You can get a bike in the first 2 weeks. You're not going to get one in the first
Depending
week.
on the model, yeah.
Depending on the model.
Well, you can rent one the first day.
You can rent one
could,
day one.
but you don't know where to go and who
Yeah.
to see
Right.
and what's the best
So-
price. So you ask. But honestly, it takes. I ended up using pedicab for the first 2 weeks. The easiest one to get probably is the scooter.
Okay.
The second thing is, meanwhile, you're staying in a hotel. So if you're a hotel outside of town, it's more difficult than if you're a hotel where you can walk around. Okay, finding an apartment is not easy. More than a month. To get acclimated, I still did not feel 100% acclimated. I've been here 5 months. So to feel comfortable, 3 months minimum.
Okay.
To feel comfortable. But
You concur with 3 months?
I concur because not every street has a sign.
Right.
Everything here is by landmark. So you have to remember, like you can ask somebody, where would you like to meet? I want to meet here. Well, where is that? Well, that's next to the yellow building on the corner here. And if you go down a half a click and so it takes a while to figure out what's what, who's who and where's where. And once that happens, it's going to take a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's fair information to share with people.
So if a guy comes here for 1 month and he's going to go back home and he's going to check it out, he really didn't get a chance to really check things out. But he could get an idea.
How long are you talking if a guy comes to check it
I've
out?
had guys, many expats that come here for a month.
And you don't think that's long enough?
No.
I don't think it's long enough.
And you don't think it is?
I was initially going to come for a month, and I was
Okay.
told by several people here before I came, no. Give it 2 months minimum. If not, if you can do 3, do 3. I came for 2 months, and I still really had questions going back, but I only went back for 3 weeks and then came back again.
Because you have a lot of questions, like
Yeah.
visa questions. I mean, it's
Yeah,
more than
he-
just what am I going to rent
Yeah.
and where am I going to live, but then you have what are the visa rules and and that gets, you have to be asked more than once to get it into your head sometimes or write it
Okay.
down. What is going to be my cost? How am I going to get funds? What about opening a bank account? What about getting a Philippine driver's license? It takes time to get all this information and
Sure.
actually create what you want to create.
So in an ultimate scenario, and that's where we'll end this, is if it's affordable. It's not always affordable to everybody. We have to be cognizant of that. But in the ultimate scenario, but I heard from these gentlemen is if you're thinking of coming out to the Philippines, before you sell the house and dump the car and all that jazz, take an exploratory trip for 90 days.
I think so.
If they can.
Yeah.
Come out,
As long as you can.
come out, get your feet on the ground, walk around. First of all, you'd have to ascertain, do I like it here?
Yeah.
Is it for me? Can I put up with the negative stuff? As much positive as we spin it here, there's plenty of negative. There's plenty of poverty for you to see, and that might bother you. There's a lot of infrastructure issues. There's a lot of cleanliness issues. There's sanitation issues.
There's health issues too.
Health issues. Everyone that comes here gets a chest infection,
Yes,
it seems,
very
or
common.
a cough, because there's different pollens, allergens, smoke, diesel in the air. That might be something that affects you. Every single guy that I've talked to, except for D, I don't know, had some sort of health issue.
Yeah, I did.
Remember the doc, the chiropractor? He was super healthy and everything else, and he was sick for a month. And this is a guy.
And
that-
he spent a fortune bringing everything over. We're talking
Yeah.
hydrogen peroxide,
Yeah.
silver water, what do they call this?
Well, I mean, this is a guy that did nothing but think about his health, and he looked
blenders.
about 20 years younger than he was.
Oh, he looked great.
He looked great. He was in perfect shape, and he got sick and was down for the count for a month. So that I hear a lot, and that
Yeah.
happened to me. So when I got here, I had this
There's a lot
horrible.
of diesel pollution.
I would say 75% of the automobiles here are diesel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot. You can smell it. And if you're at a hotel in downtown,
And
you're going to be affected.
there
by
are no
it.
emissions here. You smell
None.
that stuff
No
coming out of
smog.
that tailpipe, and it's
Yeah.
No, in fact, I
Crazy.
love it because I have to go get May's motorbike redone. It's called the smoke test, and it says everybody passes. That's a sign.
I mean,
It's
it's
like,
something.
we're gonna hook the
Just pay your
machine
fee.
up,
Just
and
pay
we're
your
gonna
fee,
go
right?
through the routine.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it because everybody passes, no matter what comes
Pretty
out of
much.
that
all
tailpipe.
When I was
Peso.
at the LTO, which is getting a driver's license the other day, it was 400 pesos. You had to get a medical check.
Yeah.
Okay, so I paid the 400 pesos. They asked me my name. They asked me my birth date. And of course they had trouble with my name. So I told them to put my name twice. And then they printed it all out. They didn't ask a whole lot. 400 pesos. And I'm looking at the sheet of paper. Perfect vision.
Yeah, and they never checked your
Never
eyes.
check my eyes. Any kind of medical problems? None.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect hearing. Never checked my ears. I'm on blood. I was on medication. No medications. I'm on half a dozen medications for blood pressure or blood sugar or whatever. But they never asked.
But I think that's kind of the cool cowboy kind of mentality that I like, the Wild West kind
Yeah.
of stuff going on
What are you
here.
gonna do,
That to
complain?
me
You're
is
not gonna
appealing.
complain.
You know, I
Okay,
find that
yeah.
appealing. People whine a lot about the traffic. I find it fun over time. It only gets on my nerves if I'm running late like I was today and I got stuck behind people in the car. But if I don't have anywhere to be, I think it's fun to duck and dodge and get in and get out. I don't know. It's not a drive. It's a challenge. You know?
Yeah,
It's a contest.
It's mostly looking out for the other guy because the drivers here.
So I want to wrap it up with this, boys and girls, is a perfect scenario would be to come out, put your toe in the water for 90 days, see if you like it. If you do like it, find out what it would take to live here for your lifestyle, because it's so hard to talk about budget when one guy's, mansion is another guy's shack. And it's so hard. I can't, guys ask me, can I live on there guy asked me today on a live check, can I live there for $1,200 a month? So I don't know. I know I can't, but maybe you can.
I know people that do. I wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't want to, but the price has gone up. And I would say that $2,000 is a pretty reasonable number. Would you guys agree to that or no?
2,000 to 3,000. Yeah, you could if you're by yourself.
But that's something you would find out once you got out
Are you
here.
gonna have a girlfriend?
I just don't see anybody coming here from the U.S. wanting to live strictly on a Philippine lifestyle completely, because you're going to want some of those Western conveniences here.
Right.
So I think what you're saying is, if you want to live comfortable, I would say the 1,500 to 2,500 range. You could potentially do that, and the big factor in this is your rent. So for example, like My rent is 3 times more than his rent, but that's because that's what I choose. I'm up in a mountain on a new place. I'm the first person to live there. It's a newly built place. It's different than what he's living in.
Nice.
So I pay for that. I choose to pay for that. So could I live on what? Sure. If I just.
But you wouldn't be happy at
I wouldn't be
Goldfinger's
happy.
place.
And
You
this
wouldn't
is
be
where,
happy at my house.
And this is where I'm getting at with the how you want to live when you come
Right.
here. I mean, do I have the big yard, the swimming pool like I did back in the U.S. and all this stuff? No, but I don't want to live in a shack. I want to have certain criteria that I want to live, like I was telling you about the realtor. I want these criteria, and that's going to cost you. The more you want, the more you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess what the conclusion is, we've all decided and agreed upon pretty much that if you're coming out here, the ultimate survival guide would be to come here for 90 days minimum. Give yourself a chance to acclimate, get sick, not get sick, see if you like it, look around, find different areas. You may come here for a week and hate it. I've had a guy tell me that. He goes, I hate it here in Dumaguete. I'm going back to Cebu because I like the
City.
whatever reason. Cool. No one's gonna hold you back. But give the Philippines, no matter where you're gonna land, 90 days. Figure you're not going to, you're gonna be hoteling it or Airbnb-ing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Looking around, finding the modes of transportation that would work for you. Seeing if it's for you. And then once that's done, go back home and then sell the house.
Yeah.
And then, say goodbye to the kids and the grandkids and
There's
tell them
very
you'll stay in
nice-
touch.
Very nice communities just outside of Dumaguete, such as
Yeah.
Valencia.
Yeah. Bacong, Dallin.
Dallin. Beautiful. It's 15 minutes from downtown
Right.
Dumaguete, and if you want to meet all your friends in Dumaguete, it's a 15-minute ride.
Right.
So Dumaguete is not all by itself. There's areas that are close by that are very nice.
All right, so we'll wrap that up. Thanks for coming on, kids. Any last words of love or advice here for the boys and girls watching?
The only thing I would add would be that the main mode of transportation here is a motorbike. With that said, if you don't have a motorcycle endorsement on your U.S. license, I would recommend getting it before you come. And if you've never ridden a motorbike, just get on a bicycle or something and just
That's a good
get
idea.
the feel of it before you come. Because here it's all traffic and the motorbikes are doing this kind of stuff and going between each other.
There's no lights,
and
no stop signs,
you,
very few.
It could be pretty apprehensive for you to endure that. So prepare yourself.
And when you rent a smaller bike. They're much easier. Just for a month, rent a smaller bike, and then you can move up to a larger one because the smaller bikes are maneuverable and they're light, and you're not going to crash and burn if you're not familiar with motorbikes. Now, some people are very well. I mean, I'm talking about scooters that are very light. There are actually motorcycles that people wear that ride, and if you're familiar with it, go for it. Okay, but it's always watching out for the other guy here, and it's not a question of if, it's only when you can get into an accident.
And so what I'm going to ask of you guys, if you manage to stay in there this long, for the four of you that are still with us, please feel free to leave a comment, ask a question, and let me know if you like this kind of forum, where we just kind of talk about everyday life, the do's and the don'ts, the successes, the failures, how our take on it, and maybe you can tell us what you would like to hear if we do another one of these little round tables. If you like them, we'll be more than happy to do them for you every 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever it is. And what you would like us to talk about. Is there a certain topic? Is there a certain issue? Is there something that you'd like us to get into?
And if you have any questions, please hit me up on Messenger. I love texting and meeting new people. I've met quite a few new people online as well as at the local breweries, well, I should say breweries, the coffee shops. I don't drink, but the coffee shops, and I give them some advice. Everybody has questions. I did too when I got here.
All right,
And,
so there you go.
Yeah.
You got an open mind to Goldfinger?
Expats are very friendly here. They'll help you out. Ask for help.
We'll keep you on the private list.
Oh, I don't mind. I'll talk to anybody. I just assumed the offer was out there, so you're welcome to contact
Want me
me.
to put
if
your
you
Facebook on there too?
like. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You're going to have 2 Facebooks,
Yeah.
and you guys know how to find me. So thanks for joining along, and we will see you next time we see you. Bye.
Bye.
Peace be with you.